The observation deck of Station Kepler 442 stretched empty before Anna as she stared at the swirling nebula beyond the reinforced glass. 7 candles sat unlit on a small table behind her, arranged around nothing. No cake, no gifts, no guests. Anna's bioluminescent markings flickered dim blue across her pale lavender skin, the Zephyrian equivalent of tears. She was 16 today, by human standard years, or 23, if one counted in her homeworld's rotation. Either way, it had been 7 years since anyone had come to her birthday celebration. The first year, she had understood. Her family had just arrived at the human-run station as refugees when their world fell to the Krell invasion. The humans had been kind enough to offer sanctuary, but they were busy, distracted by war logistics. Birthday parties seemed trivial when survival hung in the balance. The second year, her parents had tried. They'd invited the 3 other Zephyrian families aboard, but old clan rivalries from their homeworld had followed them across the stars, and no one came. Her parents' markings had dimmed with shame. By the 3rd year, her parents had stopped trying. By the 4th, they'd stopped mentioning it entirely. By the 5th and 6th, Anna had stopped hoping. Now, in her 7th year of loneliness, she simply came to the observation deck alone. She brought candles she wouldn't light because making a wish felt like inviting another disappointment. Anna spun around, her heart organ thrumming rapidly. A human man stood in the doorway, tall and weather-worn, with gray streaking through his dark hair. He wore the insignia of a cargo hauler captain, and in his hands he held a slightly lopsided cake. Anna's voice caught in her throat, coming out in the melodic trill of her native language before she switched to human standard. "Name's Alexander," the man said, walking forward with a gentle smile. "Captain of the cargo vessel Persephone." He set the cake on her table, and Anna noticed it was decorated with swirls that mimicked the nebula outside. Someone had taken time with this. She whispered. Alexander pulled out a small data pad. "Your father works in the docking bay. Good man. 7 months ago, I hauled a shipment here, and we got to talking. He mentioned you. Mentioned how birthdays were important in Zephyrian culture." Anna's markings pulsed brighter. Alexander scratched his neck sheepishly. "I said I'd help, but my routes kept taking me farther out. Took me to 12 different stations, 4 colonies, and 2 mining asteroids. Every stop I asked about Zephyrian birthday traditions, learned that the cake has to incorporate 7 elements representing different aspects of life." He gestured at the nebula-swirled frosting. "Your father said you spend every evening watching the stars." Anna's bioluminescence was now pulsing in rapid, brilliant patterns. Joy, disbelief, overwhelming emotion all at once. "Well, when I promise something, I follow through," Alexander said matter-of-factly, pulling out a small ignition wand. "Even if I'm running a bit late." He began lighting her candles, one by one. "Your dad also told me that in Zephyrian culture, if no one comes to 7 consecutive birthdays, it's considered a sign that the universe has forgotten you." "It's superstition," Anna said softly, though her voice wavered. "Maybe," Alexander agreed. "But sometimes humans need reminding, too, that they're not forgotten. That someone remembers." The 7th candle flickered to life. In its glow, Anna saw something she hadn't noticed before. Behind Alexander, the doorway had filled with people. Her parents stood there, their markings brilliant with pride. The station commander was there. Several human crew members she recognized from the corridors, even 2 of the Zephyrian families, old rivals putting aside their feuds for one night. "I might have mentioned to a few people that there was a birthday party happening," Alexander said with a wink. "Humans are suckers for a good birthday story." Anna's father stepped forward, his voice thick with emotion. We thought you'd stopped caring about birthdays, daughter." "The universe hasn't forgotten you, Anna," Alexander said, gesturing at the growing crowd. "And now neither will this station." Anna looked at the 7 candles, at the nebula beyond, at the faces now filling the observation deck. For 7 years, she had wished to matter, to be seen, to be remembered. She closed her eyes and made a different wish this time, that she might someday have the courage Alexander showed, to travel the stars not running from a past, but building futures for people who needed someone to show up. When she opened her eyes and blew out the candles, the entire deck erupted in cheers, human whistles mixing with Zephyrian harmonic chimes. "Thank you for being late," Anna said to Alexander, her markings now glowing in a pattern that meant eternal gratitude. Alexander smiled, cutting the first slice of cake. "That's what humans do best. We're stubborn. We don't forget." The party lasted until the station's night cycle, filled with laughter, stories, and the beginning of new traditions. And every year after, on Anna's birthday, a cargo ship named Persephone would dock at Station Kepler 4442, carrying a captain who never forgot a promise and a cake that proved the universe hadn't forgotten her either. Humanity, after all, had always been very good at showing up when it mattered most.